Girl, how I adored this episode. Hello everyone, it's Leo, and in this video I'm going to talk about Mahou Shoujo Lyrical NANOHA Exceeds Gunblaze Vengeance Episode 3. And you are on Cinnamon After Dark, a channel in which I talk about magical girls, apart from Precure. Obviously, Precure is on Magical Cinnamon, which if you're here, you probably know about, right? So, I am very behind on Nanoha, I know, but I've been really liking this show so far, and this was that type of episode that just brought me happiness, momentary happiness, because I know things are going to get tougher in the future. I am already loving this, those two together. I love this friendship that is blossoming, so let us talk about it. We start the episode with Sheena, and she is in her mission. She is starting a mission officially, and we see her with a different costume. We see Nanoha as well, and both of them are going to act together. When I saw this, I was like, oh my god, it's exciting. And we see that they go to a place that is infested by the invaders, and in that place, they are defeating the invaders basically, while Sheena goes on top. Nanoha goes on the bottom of the building, and they start defeating the invaders that are there. I personally think that this visual is better than the regular one, but I'm still not very fond of it. I think the visuals in Exceeds Gunblaze Vengeance are very bland. I'm going to talk about Nanoha's in a few seconds, but like this visual is nice. Like the hair, the glowing hair is really cool. The white vest with the black vest underneath, it is better than her regular one, but still like meh. But I do love the hair and how striking it is when she is fighting. And then we have Nanoha, and I am missing the magical girl side of Nanoha. I loved her magical girl costume. I mean, I never really loved it, but compared to this one, I do love it. I think this costume right here is very lackluster. But still, it was nice to see Nanoha in action. It felt to me like she was letting Sheena get her experience. We know Nanoha is very powerful, but she's not using the power like to the most extent that she can, because Sheena needs to get experience. She needs to learn how to fight better. And that's what she did here. Nanoha stopped the invaders, the bigger invader that appeared, and she let Sheena defeat it with a very cool attack. Girl, I loved this moment. She basically went through the invader, and then the invader exploded. And what was nice about that is that Nanoha created like this field for the explosion to happen inside the field and not destroy the place. That was very cool. Both of them have synergy in battle, and I am liking to see this. Even though this first scene was very simple when it comes to the combat itself, I think it was nice. I just want to see Nanoha do bigger things, and I feel like we're gonna see that at some point. And as I said in my previous videos, I do know this isn't a story that is focused on Nanoha. I do know that she isn't going to be the main focus of this story. It's more towards Sheena and Towa as well. But I do want to see Nanoha rock this, okay? We have Sheena absorbing the power, and they explained that the absorbing action that she takes, it fuels her power. It was explained in text, like every time they are introduced somehow and new things are introduced, there's like text on screen, and it was said that it boosts her power. And then we have a little scene with Fate, both of them talking to Fate, and we have a bit of a casual moment for Sheena. And this is something that we haven't seen yet, and we've seen a little bit of the daily life in the countryside in the island that Sheena lived with Setsuna, and now we're seeing a little bit on how things are for both Sheena for Sheena and the residents of the mainland. Because usually when we see the mainland, everything is destroyed. But there seems to be a place in which life goes on, not normally, but as normal as it can be. And she starts reminiscing Setsuna's life and remembering her, seeing, imagining going with her to places. And in here, we can see, even though this isn't real, this is just Sheena imagining, we can see how life can be in the mainland. And we don't I think this is a a nice way of introducing, even though there's lots of chaos, there's lots of danger, there is still part of life that can be a little normal. And she is sad over remembering Setsuna, but then she starts, uplifting herself by saying, Setsuna, you would be proud of me because I'm fine, I'm happy. And so she starts talking about life a little bit more specifically. She says that life goes on, but life is still very hard on the mainland. And we see this shot right here because even though there seems to be some normal places, lots of places have been destroyed, lots of families lost their homes, people can't find work, it's not that easy to find food. And so this is a source of sadness, source of stress for lots of people, and there is a high rate of suicide in this world. And when she is talking about this, she sees a girl ready to jump from a bridge, and she gets super surprised and she goes after the girl. But the girl was jumping from the bridge to save a little cat. And Sheena ends up falling in the water, and she's like, oh my god, I am so ashamed. But the girl jumps right after her, and they have this moment. This is the first time both of them are meeting, and I found this so charming. I loved this moment. Sheena, so far, even though she has Nanoha, even though she has Fate, it feels like Nanoha and Fate are always busy with something. They're never really free. They're never really connected to Sheena, at least not so far, outside of work. And Sheena is now being able to connect to someone outside of work as well. And we see that there is some sort of hardship over this because Sheena, even before, she had a strong connection with her sister Setsuna, but she was always very responsible. She was already battling the invaders. So this weirdness in trying to communicate with someone is very understandable, and I thought it was very nice. The girls go out of the water, they save the cat, and then Sheena says that she is also a lifesaver, a lifeguard. Girl, this woman is everything. This lady, she is everything. And then since the other girl's house is a little far away, she has to take the train. Both of them go to a laundry to leave their clothes to dry, to wash their clothes and leave it to dry, and they go on to the bath as well. They have a little moment, they start connecting, and then they go eat because that girl has a responsibility later, but now she still has a little time for her to eat something. And both of them go to eat together. This is another very cute scene of them interacting. And Sheena is narrating the scene, talking about the fact that they talked a lot about food and how much they love it. Girl, I would have lots to say as well. And they keep on eating, they keep on talking and have fun. And then at the end of this scene, we see a little bit more on the conversation itself. And the other girl says that she is someone who needs to eat a lot because her work is physical work. At this point, we already know her, but Sheena doesn't. We already know what she does. She's one of the Majin hunters. I don't remember the name of the group, but she is from a group that hunts Majins, and we're going to see more of that later in the episode. It's nice because it's a point of connection between both of them because Sheena says, oh, I do it too. And so, like, both of them, they seem to lead a lonely life. They seem to lead a life full of losses, and it's a connection. Even though they don't talk much about those things, they see in each other something that connects them, and they don't know what this is, and they're gonna discover soon, girl. And I don't know if I'm gonna like it. And then so Sheena's like, oh, I haven't asked your name. What's your name? And then they start introducing themselves to one another. Very cute. This other girl is Toa, as we already knew. But that's it. They don't go deeper into that. They get their phone numbers, and we have a very cute scene. of Sheena saying goodbye. And then we have her talking to Nanoha. And Nanoha says, like, oh, there's food here. You want to eat? She's like, I already ate, but I do want to eat. But then she mentions something. And I loved this moment because Sheena tells her in message, she writes, like, I met with a certain someone and then we ate already. And then she erases the certain someone and she puts friend in the place because in her mind, Toa is already her friend. I thought that was very sweet, and I feel like Sheena must be feeling really happy about this. Oh my god, and I am feeling happy for her as well. But we know things are gonna get tense, but we'll get there. And then remember when Toa said earlier in the episode that she had something to do? This is that something. Both her, not both, her and her, the other girls, I don't remember their names. Yuna is the blonde one. The other, the spider girl, I don't remember her name, but they go to kind of like this mafia, and in this place, it the bad guy says that he knows that they've been snatching their drugs and he is ready to attack them. All of the guys around them point guns at them, and then we start understanding a little bit more related to this group of girls, and we do know already that they're not going to be villains. They might be antagonists to the story because of Exceeds, because I feel like Exceeds is the official force. Everything outside of that, it can be considered like militia. I don't know if that's the word in English, but in this case, it feels like the girls are on the illegality, but they are not doing things in a bad way. You know, not in a bad way. Like they're not doing it for bad. They're doing it for good, but they're not doing it in official means. And they tell them like, we need to know what you did with the drugs that you snatched from us. And they show this video of them destroying all of the drugs that they got. And drugs in this system right here seem to be very important, right? And obviously, it's very on par with our world and how drugs are an important trade, an important commerce in our life, right? In our reality. But what happens here is that those guys, they think that they're after the drugs to sell them as a means of power, as a means of money, but they're not. They're destroying it because they want to destroy every Majin, every demon. But they don't know that because in their minds, it's just like you want to create new drugs, you want to try new drugs. And in here, in this conversation, we have a new information that was kind of surprising, which is the Majin, the demons, they are killed and their bodies are used to produce drugs. And he mentions like, oh, you want to get our Majins for you to produce your own drugs? Or like, and he also asked like, oh, I know you are Majins as well. And so like you are demons as well. So we're gonna kill you and we're gonna create this drug with your demon body. And Toa says something along the lines of, you can't do that. They've already tried to do that to me and they couldn't. And I was like, girl, this girl seemed to live a very tragic life so far. And so they all start using their powers, their abilities. This girl has the line ability with like spiders, and Yuna has like this super strong arm, super strong punch, and Toa has ice powers. But Toa also has other powers with her hand. She can also absorb things just like Sheena does. And in here, she starts talking to this man, and she knows that he has people um, being held hostage. But before that, they ask if they know who those two are, Eiji and Mana. And he doesn't. But they do want to know where those drugs that he has come from. But before that, they also ask about a fire, a blaze Majin. I think that's it. A blaze demon. And he doesn't know either. But he tells them where his source is. the five of them go, even though the other two, they were not part of that previous scene, but now all five of them go to that place. They find humans there locked up together with lots of Majin that are also locked up there. And they say that those humans are probably going to be used as food for the Majin. And then we see a flashback because what Toa wants to do is destroy every Majin, and she is set on doing that. And we start understanding a little bit on where her pain comes from. And we see a little scene of her remembering this moment with Mana. I think it's Mana, and this lady is crazy. Girl, she is completely insane. She got those children and she's going to drug all of them to see which ones are going to be able to survive the drug. And obviously, the ones that are not going to be able to survive, they're going to be discarded. And the ones that are going to survive the drug are going to fight for her. And she is creating soldiers, obviously, in detriment of people's lives. She's trying to create soldiers of her own. Toa, remembering this, gets very angry. She starts killing all of the Majin. And there's another flashback of this fiery place. And Toa sees two of her, I don't know if I can call them friends, but it feels like she has an emotional attachment to them. So I'm going to say two of her friends, probably, who were part of those children that were experiments. And they were killed. And in this moment, we see this sea of fire, and we see this creature as well. This is a scene that makes me think of something, but let's just finish the episode. So we have, Towa defeating all of the Majin from that part, and we have Setsuna showcasing her wallpapers, her cell phone wallpaper, by showing both her and Towa together. So for her, their connection is already a solid one. They're already friends. And this is something that she is going to cherish in her life, right? Which is going to be painful, we know, because they are going to be on different sides. Sheena is with Exceeds, and the Demon Hunter group, they're probably not going to want to work with government or government aligned institutions. And so they're probably going to have conflicting moments. And that already pains my heart. And remember when she asked about this Blaze Majin? And also this moment right here. This is probably Setsuna, who is Sheena's sister. And before she became Sheena's sister, right? And this is probably a moment in which she used her power to do something, and she ended up killing Towa's friends. We don't really know, but it's very cloudy for now. But I think this is going to be another point of contention between both Sheena and Towa. And that's going to make me suffer because I already loved their vibes together. I really want to see more of that. But I think there's going to come a point in this show that things are going to get sad. Anyways, this was my view on episode 3. I'm going to try to do at least like 2-3 videos per week until I get up to date with NANOHA. I need to stand up and, keep on doing Cinema After Dark because October is going to be huge with Ray Earth and Maho Iku. I am super hyped for both of them. But now I'm also very hyped to continue doing NANOHA that is being very, very good. And as always, this is it for today. I want to take this little time to thank you who have subscribed and watched this video. Thank you very, very much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.